just watching all over the world. I got a guy, a friend of mine, I'm almost scared to death. Oh, hey, be quiet while I'm talking. Or you'll get fired. Yeah. We got a friend of mine who's been a friend of mine since he was 15. He's a Trump supporter. Now, don't you guys go burning his house. What we're going to do is we're going to let him listen too, because he's an American citizen. Yeah?
Yeah.
He's got a right to be here. All right, so we're going to let him. So that's why we hooked this up, so my friend Billy. And he's actually the mayor of a small town, 600 people. He rules with a right iron hand, like the ruler of Italy now. Travis, are you tied up? Can I, Brad, can you help me?
I don't know if the internet's going to work.
You don't know if the internet's going to work? You're busy. Are we rolling?
This is recording.
It is the 19th of February, 2024. We are here on President's Day at Brooks Inc. at 2251 Chestnut Street in San Francisco. I want to thank this gentleman, man, right here, Mr. Earl Peterson, for making that possible. Let's give Earl a round of applause for allowing this to happen. He is the manager here, and we're grateful to him to let us go on with this kind of fun, more fun than humans should be allowed to have. We're going to do 9 pieces of music here. We're going to do we're going to do presidential speeches, excerpts from them, and I'll let you peruse them through musical ones here. Good, I'm glad you like it. You know, guys, I'm going to need Greg, if you're there, I'm going to need a little bit of help here. If you can't help me, Greg's around. If not, I'll just improvise. All right, the first one we're going to do. Does anybody old enough here to remember who Lyndon Baines Johnson is? Anybody remember him? The guy with the ugliest nose in the life? He was a horrible man. But he made a speech, a lovely speech. And it was made on March 15th of 1965. Because in March 7th and March 9th and March 25th, there were demonstrations, there were marches 54 miles long between Selma and Montgomery. And they were fighting to stop the poll tax because they were making black people pay $1.75 to vote. Now $1.75 doesn't seem like much money, except that that's $60 today. Now if you go down to Central Avenue where we live in our town, you look under the bridges and stuff, you see those people in the tents, $60 is going to be pretty hard to come by. But if you didn't have $60, you couldn't vote. So these people were saying, you know, we can't vote because we haven't got the money. This doesn't seem right to us. And so they were demonstrating for that. You're going to have to wait for just a technical second. I will make an edit in the video after this because I have to push a button here. I'm kind of an analog kind of guy, as you can see, but I need a digital hand here. So give me just 1 second. Oh my God, you got an auto lock. We're going to have you undo auto lock because
I did too.
You did, okay, all right. Then let's, no, I know I'm hip enough. And for an old guy, I'm pretty hip with this kind of stuff. So give me just a second. So we're gonna have to go to the battery and change this so that we can stop the screen. No, I think we got it, thank you. All right, so we're gonna do one more thing here. And then we'll get back to the dialogue. Thank you for your patience, I'm grateful to you. And so what happened with these marches, and what happened is 600 black people got beat on television. Yeah, now that had never happened before. And so people started, the white people who were running the country, said, you know, we don't like this. We don't like black people getting beat on TV at dinner time. This doesn't feel well with our digestion. It doesn't make me feel good by myself. And so they decided to do something about it. Now, one of the reasons they had this poll, one of the reasons they were upset about the poll tax, is the reason black people couldn't read is because there was something called the Negro Act of 1740, the Comprehensive Negro Act of 1740. And what that said is that you weren't allowed to let African Americans move abroad, assemble in groups, raise food, earn money, or learn to write. And so here it comes 100 years later and you say, well, you can't vote. Well, why not? I can't write. Well, you passed a law and said I couldn't do it. So they were upset. So how does all this now to the piece of music? When these people got beat, Lyndon Johnson said, we got to do something about this. And anybody remembers saying, knows he was not the most eloquent speaker in all the world, but he had this beautiful speech. And I'm going to play it for you right here. First of all, let me hear you say this. I'll say it for you first. We shall overcome. Say that with me. We shall overcome. All right, now I'm going to point to you twice in this speech, because this is called the We Shall Overcome speech. And you just say it. Don't leave me up here naked. That's making me feel scared. So just come up here and say, we shall overcome. That's all you got to do. It's an us kind of thing. So here's how it starts. Right? Earl, I'm going to need your help. Can you come over here and bring your chair? I'm going to need you to scroll for me because I've got this on. I can't turn it down. I got all my surfaces committed other places. All right, you ready for some music? Tired of talking? Frank Zappa, who I know, used to say, Steve, shut up and play your guitar. So here we go. What happened in Selma is part of a far larger movement which reaches into every section and state of America. It is the effort of American Negroes to secure for themselves the full blessings of American life. Their cause must be our cause too. It's not just Negroes, it's really all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And here, we shall overcome. Yeah. This great, rich, restless country can offer opportunity and education and hope to all black, all white, all north, all south, sharecropper and city dweller. These are our enemies: poverty, ignorance, disease. Not our neighbors, they're our friends. These enemies too: poverty, disease, and ignorance. We shall overcome. Let's have a round of applause for you guys. You guys are fabulous. That's fabulous. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, since you practiced the We Shall Overcome, we're actually going to sing that song. Anybody here all must remember hearing that on TV when you were a boy? Yeah. Some of you are actually in the marches. I was in the marches. I remember going down to May Day. So we're going to sing this song. And the verse goes like this: We shall overcome, we shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I know, still believe, son, we shall overcome someday. And the second verse is, we are not afraid, we are not afraid. We are not afraid today. All right. Now, this is my bass section. This is my oldest fan. He's the oldest, not in terms of age, but just in chronology. He's been my fan for a long time. He's going to lead the bass section. Say hello, Eric. Say hi. Hi. This is my newest friend. This is Razmik. He's in the bass section too. Say hi, Razmik. Hi. Right. And we're going to have this man come up. This is BB. BB's been working with me for 18 years. BB deserves the Iron Cross for putting up with me for 18 years. We're going to have you lead us in We Shall Overcome, all right? So we shall overcome, we shall go, and we are not afraid is the second verse. We ready? So you can sing. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Deep in my heart, I still believe we shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Deep in my heart, I still believe we shall overcome someday. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. Very nice. We know him from Neverland. What are some of the other names like Chimpanzee? Did anybody here know what who Chimpanzee was? Chimpanzee was the first violinist in the string quartets of Beethoven. The last 5 string quartets, the late quartets, are considered the most spiritual music ever written. But the only way that they were written was because Chimpanzee tolerated Beethoven's incredible abuse. Beethoven was a genius composer, but he was a horrible person to be with. Going on a long trip with a small car with him would have been disastrous. So this man, we call him Chimpanzee because he puts that in there. All right, we're now going to do the second piece. I want to talk about this. George Washington was our first president, as you all know. You know, when I was a boy, they had Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday. You guys remember that? And then they put it all together because they gave Martin Luther King one, so they had to kind of. We didn't want to have too much fun, too many holidays, so they had to get rid of one of them. So this was what it was originally about. Was his idea. When he left office in 1796, he was concerned about political parties being factious. So anybody think any political parties might be doing that right now? This was 225 years ago. He saw in advance what we were headed for. Are we rolling? We cool back there, Tubbs? We good? You hope so? How about you, Greg? We got something I can look at when I get home?
I'm recording up there.
Great, huh? Because I can't tell what I'm doing up here. I just have no idea. The French Enlightenment took place from 1715 to 1789. What happened was a man named Louis XIV. He reigned for 74 years, the longest running king in history, the King of France, 74 years. And he had what was called the reign of absolute monarchy. And his thinking was like this, and if I was a king, I'd think like this too. There's nothing in the world that God has created that is not the way it's supposed to be, and I'm the king, therefore God says I'm the king. Now, there's a codicil of that. And if you argue with me, you're arguing with God. Ooh, that's too much power for a man to have. So he went on for 74 years like that. Long time. And then some people said, you know, let's rethink this a little bit. And they came up with what was called the Enlightenment in 1789, the French Revolution. 14,000 people lost their heads in guillotine. I've actually seen a guillotine when I was in Vietnam. Man, that's a scary thing. I've been on tank range twice. My father was military, and so he took me to tank range. It's nothing as scary as a guillotine. It is frightening. It's a terrible piece of destruction. And so 14,000 people lost their heads, literally. Because what they wanted to do, instead of saying, well, God said I can do this, well, they said, we're going to believe in reason, natural law, liberty, progress, toleration, fraternity, constitutional government, and separation of church, so we can attain happiness. Now that's a big step forward, don't you think, from saying, I'm God's designee. We've moved forward, right? That's an age of progress. There's some things we left out. Okay? There's some things we haven't looked at. Right at this minute, women earn 78 cents an hour to men. That's not right. We haven't finished our perfect union. We've gone a lot farther than we were with Louis XIV. Okay? So there's things we have to do. The situation with, right now, in the Declaration of Independence, black people are 2/3 of a person. Look in the Declaration of Independence. They're considered 2/3 of a human. That ain't okay. So we've made a long way from where it says, I'm the king's designee, to better, but we've got more to do. That's why we're here talking. Is it possible that we can move farther? Can we advance the scale of evolution a little bit farther down the line? I believe that we can, as long as we sit and read together and talk together and sing together. All right, so this is what Washington had to say. The spirit of party, unfortunately, is inseparably from our nature, having its root in the strongest passions of the human mind. But the disorders and miseries which result gradually incline the men to seek security and repose in the absolute power of an individual. Can anybody think of any individual who would like absolute power right now in the political scene? And why would that be? Because we have misery, and we have suffering, and we want somebody to make it right. We're in a dangerous place. Don't get me started. And sooner or later, the chief of some prevailing faction, more able than his fortunate competitors, turns this position into the purposes of his own elevation on the ruins of public liberty. Now, do we want that to happen? No. I'll take some applause. All right, we come to another president. This is the 34th president. Now, I don't like this guy, and I'll tell you why I don't like this. This is Dwight D. Eisenhower. The reason I don't like Dwight D. Eisenhower, you guys remember Humphrey Bogart? Remember that cool hat he used to wear? Yeah. What a cool hat! That was going throughout the entire 40s. And you know why we stopped doing that? Because I didn't want to wear a hat. And when the president didn't want to wear a hat, we don't wear hats anymore. So I've got a personal spiritual resentment against Ike that I don't know that I'm ever going to get over because I like hats. Because I need one. Ike was president for 8 years, and he was the first five-star general of the armies in the Second World War. He led the advance on Normandy, which attacked Hitler and changed the war. Very fierce man, but a very quiet man. But he had a warning for us. This is his, when he's exiting, this is the last thing he said, so be careful. Listen to what he had to say. Down the long lane of history yet to be written, America knows that this world of ours, growing ever smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate. Instead, be a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Confederation is not a word we use very often around here anymore, but this was 1961. Such a confederation must be one of equals. The weakest must come to the conference table with the same confidence as we do. That's the first time we hear the word inclusion. That's 60 years ago. And protected as we are by our, listen to this, you would never, this is not politically correct now. Protected as we are by our moral, economic, and military strength, even if you have that, you don't want to say it. The table, scarred through many past frustrations, cannot be abandoned for the certain agony of the battlefield. Listen to what he's saying. If we let the parties divide us, we will go to battle. Now, I've got a friend of mine, right this minute. He's in the East Coast. And I've been to his house September a year ago. And he's a Trump supporter, which he has a right to do. He also has a right to bear arms by the Second Amendment. I've seen his rifle. I've had it in my hand. There are people who are ready to fight right now. That scares me. See, where's my son? CBD, say hi to Daddy. Hi. That's my 4-year-old son. I'm 69, he's 4, do the math. I don't want to see blood running in the streets when my son's walking down the street. I don't want to see that happen. And to prevent that, according to Washington, we have to stay away from factionalism, which means we have to listen to the other guy, even when we don't want to. All right, it's time to have another piece of music. I'm going to bring you up another gentleman here. Come on up here, Radu.
Say, just one quick question.
Yes.
Can you remind me what Eisenhower's real first name was?
Dwight.
Dwight.
Dwight. I'm going to introduce, this is my student here, Radu V. Say hello to Radu. Say hi, Radu.
Hey,
Hi, Radu. All right. See, when you guys say hello, he feels loved and he feels safe and he plays better. Because everybody's got a need for love and belonging. Everybody has a need for safety and everybody has a need for esteem. So when you say hi to people, they feel loved and safe. And then he plays better and he didn't get fired. It's good. It's a good thing. All right. You know, I think I'm going to need you constantly. I hate to say it. This is the most famous presidential speech ever made. It's only 274 words long. I had it memorized when I was a boy. It came after a speech that was 2 hours long, and nobody remembers a single word of the guy who was the primary speaker, not a word. But everybody remembers this one. Can I get you to help me some more on turning this one? This is a stand-up bass. Let's hear it from my bass.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, go bass! I have never played this bass in my life. I'm in my 70th year and I've never played. I'm so excited. This is really the reason I came down here to do this show. I'm doing this show for free just so I can play this bass. I'm just dying to play this bass. So we're going to play a tune here. This is the Gettysburg Address. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and built on the proposition that all men are created equal. I think we should add women there. What do you think? All men and we do. Can I hear you? Amen?
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Women got it right. Come on. We are now engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. That's right here. 4. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place. For those who gave their lives where this nation may live. It's altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to enter and track. The world will little note, long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. Go right here. It is for the living, rather, to be dedicated to this unfinished work for which they have fought here, and that they have so far nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be dedicated to the task remaining. And from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. And here we highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. Shall not perish from this earth. Here. Let's hear it for this gentleman right here. Nice job. Oh, that was so much fun. Hey, Stevie D! Stevie, you like the bass? You like guys playing bass? Did you see Daddy playing? Daddy's having fun.
I thought that bass was for art. I didn't think you actually.
Yeah, you know, my second wife and all my exes live in Texas. I had a bass and she said, "You just keep it in the house. I don't care if you play it. It's a loge d'art." All right, we're now at the centerpiece of what we're about to do. All right, so I need Scott to come front and center. And hello, sir. I need you to sit in your soloist chair. What we're going to do here is, has anybody heard James Joyce? You know who that is? Yeah. Has anybody heard of Finnegans Wake?
Ooh,
Yeah, if you haven't, just open that book to any page in the world. It looks like total psychosis. It looks like LSD with crystal methadone. It is too much drugs at one time. What we do?
That's a good description.
Shh. You're not supposed to know what I mean. So the deal is with this is, I belong to a step study group of this, but we were studying the etymological meanings of it, and we'd sit for an hour and a half, and we'd go over one paragraph, and I'd go, oh God, I need a drink. So that's not what we're going to do. What I'm interested in is this: listen to the words as melody. Just let the sound roll over your body. Don't try to figure out what he's trying to say. Let me give you an example. When you go to the symphony, hold just a second. When you go to the symphony and you listen to the Ninth Symphony, if you don't know what a sonata allegro form is, which means a masculine theme followed by a feminine theme in its exposition, its development, and its recapitulation, you have no idea what Beethoven's doing. And none of you, I bet, know what that means. So what you do when you go to symphony, you just let the sounds roll over. That's the same thing. Just let the sounds roll over you. What do you want to say?
That what words you're going to hear, some of them aren't going to make any sense. They're going to be, some are going to be portmanteau words, invented words. And the point is not what they mean, the point is how they sound. There's a certain lilt and melody to them. Let that wash over you as you listen.
You lead us, brother. I'm going to listen. This is my Von Karajan. Do everybody know who Von Karajan is? Let's give BB a hand.
Ready? Casey Giles, there's Sodden and the Secret.
W. Ashburner.
Casey Giles, they sure
Espino's
are
Toboggan
wise.
Drive.
Casey Giles, the Justice
Faygood
Towers,
Bell
I for don't
Chambers.
find another follower for
Carolyn
who's gonna
Crescent.
rise.
Mr.
Yeah,
I.
but they
Chataway.
were-
Casey
was.
Jones,
Hilly Gate.
Woolly the
there's
Wolf.
Sodden in the
Poplar
Secret.
Park.
There is
Casey
to
Giles.
see,
Dudley.
They sure are
Wears
wise.
large face.
Casey
Casey
Jones,
Atlas
here.
jacket.
the Justice
Bright browny eyes and a blue
Summer.
satin shoe.
Vertical
Five,
Lodge.
for they'll
Yeah.
find
Jiff
another
Exeter.
faller if their root is wrong.
Mr.
Mr.
W.K. Ferris Fender.
Woolly the Whooper.
Furt
ruddy
Where's the
stucco
sea?
hair beside
Wearing
the straw
large
camel
face
built
with
I'm
down.
just adding the couch.
Namely,
Bright browny
Gorbachev
stouts in blue
and
satin.
Crocodile, Tarpanacci, and Double
That
Double.
Inky Boogie nose over a
Next door to Roger.
Was
ruddy stackle hair
And was
beside
they stairs
small
all the time?
camel belt.
Yes,
Name.
there was.
Well,
Gregorovich,
that's Secretary Bird,
The unknown color.
better known as
Enduring
Pandoria Palmapuca,
Tarpanacci.
games,
whom they
enduring
thought was more like a
studies,
Solicitor General.
And
undaring
was they
stories,
there
and
all
all.
the
Made
time?
belief.
Nay?
Yeah,
Office
but they was.
occasions.
Shandoring.
To
The
write
game.
some
Only
words to
snug
send her.
then
Enduring
causing
study.
just one perception knowledge.
Undaring the
Laughing at
story.
While Tough Battle outraged the wayward and
That,
mean
well,
sayings
only
of their
snub
underhand
And
supple
cozy
high
after
demand.
one
to
perceptive
And be they
knowledge.
gone,
Dare
his
me to
flames,
grow
While
up.
tough
was
battle
always out.
The host that has
wayward
one on the hoops
and
went
moving
backwards
to
when he faced
the
friends.
ladder to
None
turn
in the
up.
house his guests had guests.
And be
Yes,
they
they
gone
was.
explains
You
the
bet
couch
they
Too
is.
much father, which
And nose well down.
as
Same
one
This, however,
so
was sublation of
when
compensation
banquets
in the
when
ratification
whether
of
open
none in
interpretation
the house
of
is
the
as
Bible
many
is
as
twaddle out.
being
You
there.
bet they is.
Yes,
And nose
they
well
was.
down.
They had heard
With,
or had
however,
heard say or
What's
had
the
heard say
relation
way
of
that
compensation?
Fiddlers.
Or whatever the hell.
There was first a Roderick
by
King
Not up
home
to scratch.
cleaning
Kicks,
corn.
whatever
Being
And the side of that yard was
They had
a
heard or
curtain
had
pole with
heard
a
said,
luba
Though we
luba.
once had a
or had heard
few
said
Yeah,
written.
but they was.
true
Fidelity
last
said,
manner smacketh man
As
when
a matter of
first when it
Roger, King
So how would it come, Husan of a witch, if some of it was to stunt the story on?
So many needles to punk out to as many noodles as their company. They knew all about
Only then.
So how would it come?
tempo.
Whose son of a witch,
Becomes
if
number
some of
two.
as wise.
After so long to like thank you about, I do so much, I'll thank you so
So
very
many
much.
needles to
Introduce me
pump
to
out
friends.
to as
Yeah,
many
but they
noodles
was.
as they
Mr. G.B.
will
W.
this
Ashburn.
remind to
They
be saying
noveling all about
Full
those
step.
2D
Telefiametry.
Dexter
Or
Faygood
just
numbers
zoop,
and
do, floon.
Carolyn
Nut it out,
D.
P.I.
Esther
It's so long till I think.
Yeah, but they was.
About I do so much now. Thank you so
But-
very much. As you introduced me
Ha.
to forks.
You were in the same boat of yourselves too,
Will.
get out of the box.
Those remind me to be
Yeah.
saying
Multiple
F. Full step.
Let's hear for Scott. Will lead us.
Oh,
Nice
yeah.
job.
All right.
Nice job. Nice job. Very nice. Very nice. And I want to thank this young man for participating. Stravinsky said, my music is only understood by children and animals. So thank you for showing up. But I want to give the most applause to this lady. This is Miss Karen Kramer. She is the rock star of our group. This is here for Miss Karen for the repetitive ostinato part. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Miss Karen. You make our performances joyous. Now, listen, if you like what you just heard or just think it's weird, or you've got nothing to do on a Thursday night once a month, we read from Finnegans Way. You're welcome to come. We have a book study group. We just read a couple pages. We'd love to have you. It's at 6:30 on Thursday. It's usually the last Thursday of the month. You can come join and be part of our choir. But not a chorus, what is it? A chorus, right? Chorus. Duh. All right. Could you sit on this side because I can see the big screen. Sorry, I'll buy a new bass. All right, guys and girls. Who remembers George W. Bush? Oh, we don't favorably remember him, but he got a guy to write a speech for him. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful speech. Now, I got to tell you this, two things I liked about Bush. He had the best tailor I've ever seen. I have never seen a man that had a better presidential blue suit. That was a fine-looking suit. The other thing I liked about him, and I had great respect, because it's a man after my own heart, he put Tabasco on everything. Like pork rinds. Pork rinds and Tabasco. That's my kind of guy. But this is a beautiful speech that was written after 9/11. It was delivered that night. And it's called the 9/11 speech. Here we go. These acts of mass murder were intended to frighten our nation into chaos and retreat. But they have failed. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we are the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world. And no one will keep that light from shining. You come on back. Let's get that. And no one will keep that light from shining. If nothing else, he got a great speech writer, right? That's a pretty good speech. It is now time to lighten up a little bit. I need you guys to sing a song. Stevie D, where are you, boy? I see you. Come on, come here. Come here. Remember the song I wrote for you? Remember the song? Come here. This is Stevie D. Say hi, Stevie. Hi, Stevie. I love you already. Watch. You remember the song I saw? Remember this? Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands with me. Clap your hands, easy as 1, 2, 3. Now he's feeling a little shy. But I've rewritten the words because it's you guys who are grown-ups. I want you to sing this song. Now here's the song we're going to sing. It's as simple as that. It goes like this. Move this gate, move this gate, move this gate for me. Move this gate, easy as 1, 2, 3. That's all you got to sing. Let's try it. 3, 4. Move this gate, move this gate, move this gate for me. Move this gate, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, you got, man, I want everyone to your rehearsal next Thursday. You guys are good. All right, so this is a speech. Let me tell you how I know this guy. In 1937 to 1964, this man acted in over 50 feature films. In 1964, when I ran across him, he was running a TV show called Death Valley Days. He was selling soap, borax. Remember 22 borax? I remember that. And then in 1967 to 1975, he was governor. In 1980 to 1988, he was president. In 1989, on November 9th, the Berlin Wall came down. That was a big deal. We were all scared for decades of fear. You know, of communism were going to come over and get us. Everybody was just frightened to death. And Reagan, you know, kind of punched a hole through that wall, and he was just in the right place at the right time, saying the right thing. And this is what he said. It's a beautiful little speech here. So we're going to get, you know, this is really not honoring presidents, it's right? Honoring presidential speechwriters. So here we go. We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together, and that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace. there is one sign that Soviets can make that would be unmistakable, that would advance dramatically the cause of freedom and peace. General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come to this gate. Gorbachev, come to this gate. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Ready? Go this gate, move this gate for me. Move this gate, easy as one, two, clap, lady. Move this gate for me. Don't stop. Move this gate, easy as one, two, solo. One time, move this gate for me. Move this gate, easy as one, two, three. Give yourself a round of applause. Very nice job. Very nice. All right. Enough of levity. It's time to get back to serious business. This is the serious business instrument. Does anybody here, nobody in the room old enough to remember Franklin Roosevelt being alive? Anybody? No, nobody here for that. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt was our 32nd president. He comes from, you know, we talk about entitled, like that's a bad word now, entitled. Like I say, well, white people, you think you're entitled. You Christians, you think you're entitled. You rich people, you think you're entitled. That's a shaming thing. But you know, there's a place and a time to be entitled. What does entitled mean? It means you get more than your fair share. It means you get to the front of the line. It means you get called first. Now, how does the right way to get that entitled? How does that work? Is there a right way to entitle? Here's what this man's family did. 7 of them came over on the Mayflower. They were here early. 2 of them were U.S. presidents, Grant and Calvin Coolidge. The first person that ever went into space was in this man's family, William Shepard. The second boat that came over after Mayflower had him in it. So if you invest that hard, you know, you say, you know, I think you guys should consider me pretty seriously. Now, I'm not better than you, but you know, I'm making more sacrifices than you. And the way to be a great liberal, the way to do it, is to invest that hard and then deny it for poor people. That's what Kennedy did. That's what he did. And that's what Franklin Delano Roosevelt did. You with me so far on that? Because I got to tell you an ugly little story. We cool so far? All right. Franklin Roosevelt got in a little trouble when he was 28. He was a zealot. He was an undersecretary of the Navy. And you're not going to like this, but he didn't like homosexuality. And he sent 41 men to Norfolk Naval Station to pretend like they were gays so he could trick the other gay men who were gay. Well, they weren't really gay. They were just lonely young guys by themselves. They were just, and he tricked them into committing themselves to this so that he could throw them out of the Navy. And America found out about that, and they nearly drummed him out of his Navy. Well, they should have. But he learned his lesson. He had to let go of that right-wing stuff, and he became a great president when he let go of the right-wing stuff. So there's redemption even for Franklin Roosevelt. There's a story that you never heard before. You know what? I think we need, I think we need Radu. Let's hear a hand for Radu as he comes to the stage. Stevie D, would you like a piece of big candy? Come here. You've been so good. I told him if he sat quietly, I would buy him the 2 talk radios over there he's been waiting for. There you go. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you, sweetie. I'm going to scroll up. We talked about this. Here's a speech right here. You ready? 3, 4. Listen to this line right here. So first First of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. You ever heard that line? This is where it came from. What a great line. In every dark hour of our national life, our leadership of frankness and of vigor has met with that understanding and support of the people themselves, which is essential to victory. And I am convinced that you will again give that support to leadership in these critical days. He wanted you to follow him. He knew you were in trouble. It was 1933. It was the height or the depth of the Depression. You know, you know where Central Avenue is here? You keep playing. Central Avenue is. You know where that is downtown, and where all the tents are, where the homeless are? You seen that? Okay. Think about how bad that looks. Think of how much compassion you feel that people, or how scared you feel, or both as you go through. And you think, well, this is terrible, and it is terrible. But one of the advantages of age that you don't have with youth is you get perspective. And my young friends and students, they're very concerned about this, as they really should be. What they don't know is that when this speech was written, there were 8 times as many homeless people. 8 times. And we got through it. We got through it. We'll get through this. 3, 4. Right there. Let's hear it for Radu. Nice job, man. All right, that's 8th. We got one more, ladies and gentlemen. And then we're going to sing a song of healing. You know what the word religion means? Does anybody know what the root word religion is? Religion comes from the word ligare, re-ligare. It's for ligaments. It's the muscles that hold your legs together. So to re-ligare means to reunite. Now, you haven't got to be the Catholic, or you haven't got to be a Pope-mobile, or any of that kind of stuff, or a mitre, to say we might need to unite a little bit. Okay? So we're going to sing a song at the very end that'll hopefully unite us at least for 2 minutes. It'll be a good thing. I talked to my friends here at the bookstore, and I come from a long, long history of various religions and things like that. And so the word God falls out of my mouth a lot. And my friends here, they're more circumspect than I am. And I said, well, how about this about God? Here, I've got some power, I'm talking. You've got some power, you are talking. When we talk together honestly and openly, there's a synergistic thing that happens between us that's bigger than you and bigger than me. Let's call that God. I can buy that. That's what I'm looking for. So when we sing together, we're going to find God, a different God. Get me started. What are we doing next? Here's the last one. No, it's the next to last one. Anybody here old enough to remember John Kennedy? Yes. Yeah. He was my very favorite president. I loved that man. There's so many of us here. I want to talk about his death. Not since March 15th of 44 BC has there been a death that's been more significant in Western culture. It's November 22nd of 1963. It changed history. It was the beginning of the end of America. Every civilization declines, every one. That's the demarcation point. Now, it doesn't have to go down. We can stop it. We've got things that we can do. But if we don't, that was the beginning of the end. Just like the Romans, just like the Greeks. We have the power to stop the decline. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to let both parties speak. Anybody ever been in a divorce? Don't raise your hand, I want to know. If you've ever been in a divorce or in a custody case, you have to listen to the other partner. Even if you hate their guts or they hate your guts, you've got to talk to them. This is the same thing we have to do with the politics. Otherwise, we're going to decline. So we're going to hear what this man has to say about that sort of thing. You know, I'm certain I must have a pick around here someplace. Would you look in my guitar case, bring me a pick with me? Because I am not going to be able to do this without one. I'll start it off without one. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum amount of danger. Thank you. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange our places with any other people of any other generation. The The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And there's a line that no one remembers. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America can do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Let's hear it for that speech. Yeah, amen. Amen. Now we're going to get to my second favorite president, Barack Obama. Anybody old enough to remember him? Yeah. I love Barack. Now, Barack had some stuff that nobody else had since Lincoln. You know what that quality was? Humility. We hadn't seen it since Lincoln. We hadn't seen somebody that was humble. That's nice. I liked it. I miss him. I wish we changed the 22nd Amendment so we could vote him in again, to be perfectly honest. All right, but you know, I'm not the president. What do I know? I'm just a guitar player. So he was president from 2008, 2016. He swore in on January 20th. But he had some trouble. About 8 months before he won the election, he had a friend of his, he was his minister. His minister started saying a bunch of racist stuff and scared America. And so Barack had to say, wait. You can't talk like that about me, to me, or around me. Set a boundary with him. Say, if you're going to do racist stuff, you got to stay away from me. And so here's his speech. And then we're going to sing one more song. Let's see what I'm supposed to play here. Oh, the 8 again. Here we go. So this is the speech he wrote. He wrote this one himself. This was not a speechwriter. This was him. These comments were not only wrong, but divisive. Divisive at a time when we need unity. Racially charged at a time when we need to come together to solve a set of monumental problems. 2 wars, a terrorist threat, a falling economy, chronic healthcare crisis, and potentially devastating climate change. Problems that are neither black nor white or Latino or Asian, but rather problems that confront us all. The fact is, the comments that have been made and the issues that have surfaced over the last few weeks reflect the complexities of race in this country that we have never really worked through. We have never really worked through that issue, have we? No, we have not worked through that issue. We're not right with that. And we've got to make that right, and we're going to go to our graves having it be wrong. And I'm committed to participating in my part to make that right. Can I get an amen? Amen. Amen. That's right. We're going to do that. A part of our union is never yet to be perfect, and if we walk away now, if we simply retreat into our respective corners, we will never be able to come together and solve challenges like healthcare or education or find a good job for every American. Take some applause. Come up here, Scott. We're going to do one more tune. We're going to do one more song here. Those of you who have a copy of Lean On Me, share it with your neighbors. Anybody remember Billy Withers? Yeah. Remember Billy Withers? We're going to do a Billy Withers tune. This is our bass section here. This is our altos and sopranos here. What was the line you kept saying over and over in James' voice? What was it?
Yes, but they were.
They are.
Yeah, they are. That was a great line. All right, so we're going to... All right, so it starts off with humming. If everybody's got a part, if you haven't got a part, look on your neighbor's part. We're gonna. My son, when he wants something, he says, "Give me share." So if you haven't got a part, say, "Give me share." That's right. Here we go. have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load that you must bear, that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Call me, when you need a friend, call me. When you need a friend, call me. Whoa, call me. Slow. Let's give you all yourselves a round of applause. Very nice job. I want to thank the Kansas here. I want to thank Red News Lee over here. I want to thank Earl Peterson here for being the page turner and the producer of this. If you like this, James Joyce, please let us know. We'd like to enlist you. If you like to read, just have crazy fun. We'll be back another time very shortly, and we'll let you know when we do it. So come on back next time. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You did a fine job. I really appreciate the page turn. I made it.
Oh. Better late than never.
Fun carrying.
So what do you think?
Robert Shaw.
Thank you for coming.
He's been my drug dealer.
That we just do folks.
Yeah, it's a whole different.
Hi, sweetheart. I love you. How are you? Oh, that's lovely. Really nice. It was, I guess it came to, I mean, we did a conversation. I have to sign a couple of my books. Then I'm free. Do you want to have somebody else free?
You guys already ate? Oh, you did? Okay.
There's a taco delicious. Which one? Yeah, either way.
Aiden took a nap today, and so he's not going to go to bed.
It's up to you.
How about we reschedule for Sunday?
Rate check, yeah, that'd be good.